let's see.
Big waves. Fears of big waves.
That's right.
Yeah, I was scared of surfing big waves, for sure. But the more I did it, the less scared I was. So when I first started surfing big waves, like a 4-meter wave was scary. And then I got used to that, and then a 5-meter wave was scary, and then when I got used to that, then, little by little, so when I'd surf 4-meter waves and I was scared, sometimes a 6-meter wave would come in and I was scared shitless. But then eventually, when I saw a 3-meter wave, I wasn't like, there was nothing.
Right.
So then it keeps going like kind of up, and especially physically, if you're ready for it, then mentally you know you're ready for it. So when it does happen, you're fine. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So as an example, like I wanted to surf bigger waves, so I used to run down the stairs in this beach. Like I don't know how many stairs they were, probably over 150 probably. I'd run down, run up, down, run up, and every single time I'd get to the top, after my heart was beating super fast, I'd try and hold my breath for however long I could do it. Because if you hold your breath in a pool right now, with you being calm and relaxed, you can hold it for 30 seconds or whatever. But then you run, sprint as hard as you can, and you try and hold your breath, you can't do it for 3 seconds. And that's the reality of getting a big wave on the head, is you're paddling fast, you're breathing super fast, and then you get this wave on the head, and you need to hold your breath for 30 seconds, per se. So when I'd run down the stairs and up, I'd get to the top and I'd try to hold my breath, at first for 5 seconds, and my heart was pounding super fast. And I'd hold my breath for 5, and then I'd do it again, I'd try to hold it for 10, and then for 15, and every, 3 times a week or twice a week I'd do it, and eventually I got to the point where I could hold it for 20 seconds, let's say. And I remember that year there was a really big swell, and a friend of mine from Santa Cruz and I were paddling out, and a big wave came, and we were both going to get lit up by it. And we threw our boards, because we couldn't duck out of the thing, though it was 20, 30 feet big. And I remember throwing it and smiling and being totally fine about it. Just I'd hold my breath, and I'd put my hand in my mouth, close my eyes, and count. Because I was used to doing that after the running. I'd run up, I'd put my hand in on my mouth, close my eyes, and start counting. 1, 2, 3, and I knew I could do it for 20. And now, when my heart was pounding, and now I was relaxed because I knew I was ready for it in case my heart was beating fast. So now that I was relaxed and there was a big wave and my heart wasn't beating fast, I knew I could do it for twice as long. So I started holding my breath and counting, and I think it was 6 seconds, and I was up. And nice. That way you have kind of you know exactly how long you're under for. Because people usually freak out with big waves because they don't know how long they've been underwater for. They just you see this in wherever people go on vacation, in France or Spain, a wave this big, they come out and they feel like they're drowning because they feel like they were down there for 10 seconds, but they were down there for 2 seconds. But it's so foreign that they're not ready for it, and you can prepare yourself for that. In surfing, you close your eyes and you count, then you know how long you're there for.
All right, so what advice would you give for younger surfers coming up with your experience, and what would be, what was the important thing for you in surfing, and what helped you become better? What advice would you give for?
I think one thing that we haven't really talked about is finding your own path within whatever it is you want to be good at. So I guess if you want to be the world's best, then in surfing you have to compete, you have to make it to the QS, you have to make it to the CT, and then you have to beat the best guy. But for me, I wanted to be a professional surfer, period. I wanted to live the lifestyle, that was my goal. So to do that, because I wasn't motivated enough or good enough or talented enough or whatever you want to call it to be better than Kalle Slater, then I had to find a way to live a lifestyle that I had always wanted to live. So I think now advice for young surfers is follow and be true to whatever it is you're motivated to do. if you're not motivated enough to be the world's best, then you never will be. If you want to be good enough to make a living out of surfing, then you have to find whatever it is that you like to do within surfing. For me, it was traveling and meeting new people and new cultures. So I had to find a way to do that, and I found out that with the money I had, I could only travel a month or two out of the year at first, so I had to spend my time in Mexico. So I went to a place where the waves were the biggest and where there's all the photographers and all the pros. And to get photos, I'd have to get good at big waves or surf big waves to get it. So I focused on that, and through that I was able to travel and do all the rest of the things I wanted to do. Now there's surfers that make a living out of surfing, and not necessarily because they're the world's best, but because they might have a really nice style, or they dress and do things that are interesting, or they're funny and have blogs that people like to read, or they, you know, like to do things to better the environment or save dolphins, or, you know, there's all these different surfers that have their own niche. And nowadays it's so easy to bring that forward because there's blogs and there's the internet, of course, and there's, you know, all these ways to let people know who you are. And then I think you, if you're true to whatever it is you like to do in yourself, then people will follow that. You can't really be something else. You know, a really good example is a friend of mine, Kepa, who was always a good surfer, never one of the world's best, and he was doing good, he was doing okay, and then he stopped doing the competitions and he wanted to travel. So he went to travel on his own, by himself, took a GoPro and another camera and shot his travels and edited them, and did that for a few years. And then one of the things he put up from his little computer from a borrowed internet connection in Chile got like 20,000 or 50,000 hits in one night, and then he became a superstar. I think now he's like one of the most important sought after surfers in Europe today, and he's not one of the world's best. He's not the best surfer in Europe, but he just happened to find a way that a thing that he loves to do, whether he would have the money or not, and because he was so true to that, after a while it actually worked for him. So now he's making all this money. I just heard he got like offered a big contract, and he's, you know, he's 30 something years old, and he's found a way to, you know, make his career much longer, last longer, and he's actually more valuable than some of the best surfers in Europe just because of what he does. So whatever it is you want to do in surfing, make sure you stay true to that, and you don't try and like
be
someone else, because it's not going to work, and it's not going to be genuine, and people can see through it. If people can see through ads and businesses, they can definitely see through you. So yeah, that's
very cool. That's a great advice. So right now, you've had your career in surfing, and you started a kind of completely or not completely new thing, but you started something new, and you're working on this new awesome project. Why don't you tell people more about it and why it's so important to you?
Yeah, I always, when I quit surfing, I quit because I was like bored with it, and I didn't like it anymore as I love surfing, but I didn't like it as a job kind of thing. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do and what I want to get into, business or marketing, or I was always thinking that I'd love to teach because I love speaking to crowds and I love teaching things to people. I thought maybe I could teach people something, and what could it be? Marketing, because I like marketing. And then I went back to Mexico and kept on giving once in a while surf lessons, and then I realized that there's like surf instructors and there's surf teachers, and there's not that many surf teachers out there that approach teaching surfing as they would approach teaching any other subject in school. And I think teachers, really good teachers, whether it is at a high school or university level, are so far ahead of anyone trying to teach anything else, because they have all this experience. They know how to interact with students. They know how to make it fun. They know how to make a subject that's usually really boring really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do that with history and you have those skills, then bringing it into surfing is just a piece of cake. Because surfing's already fun. It's already people want to do that. People want to try it. So I'm trying to, two things that we're working on is, one, we're trying to bring in people and organize surf camps and surf yoga retreats in Mexico where we're living currently, so that people can actually feel like surfers and not just come in and take a 45-minute lesson and then, you know, do whatever it is they want. Like, actually get them involved with what the surfing culture is and the lifestyle is. So yeah, teach them how to surf and teach them the culture, the places, the beach and all that, and do it in a way where we have PowerPoint slides and theory lessons and video lessons, and so it's actually like a full-on like learning experience, rather than just like, I'll try surfing once and then I'll leave it. And there's already people for that. You can go anywhere in the world and get an hour lesson with someone that pushes you into waves and get your photo and then you're done. But then I think there's people that want to really learn to surf, and those are the people that we're trying to target. So that's one thing we're organizing, is trips. And then on the side as well, I'm doing just surf guiding and surf instruction with, or coaching, whatever you want to call it, with young kids and with adults that actually have the money, they have the ambition to surf better, but they don't have the time. So try and somehow, the learning curve of surfing is so steep, that try and somehow make it so that they can learn as much as possible in a short period of time. And that's only possible by being able to bring all the other elements of teaching that teachers already use that are really used in surfing, such as, you know, the slides, the theory, the chalkboard, the, you know, all that. So that's what we're working on, which is really fun. And then in the summers we spend our time here in Finland, and that's when I get a chance to actually enjoy surfing. So I still like, I want to surf weird waves in Finland and Sweden and Norway and Estonia, and, you know, wherever it is there's waves, that's what makes it fun for me still. That's when it makes me feel like a kid again. Obviously if I get to surf really good waves in Indonesia with just a free friends out, it makes me feel like a kid, but it doesn't really happen that often anymore. Sometimes, you know, it's too crowded or it's windy or it's this and that, but when you come to a place like this and you don't get a chance to do it, when finally there's a wave, everyone's super excited about it, and we get to do it. So luckily there's a few companies that have that same vision that I do, and they're helping me out to bring that forward. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Where can people learn more about what you're doing? Like, what's your, plug in your website, and we'll put them in the description too, but yeah.
Yeah, well, right now we're working on two websites. One is ilovewaves.com, which is the one that we organize surf yoga camps and retreats. And then the other one is just my personal one, which is Carranza.com, which is actually also getting tweaked now, but should be done in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, that's where you can find more info. And we're always in Sayulita, Mexico, so you can go to the shops that we've been running, which is lunazulsurfing.com, and I'll give you the link. But
cool. Yeah, go check that out. There'll be links in the description or wherever you find this, YouTube or anywhere. So yeah, go check those out. Cool. Shout outs.
Yeah, I guess the normal ones, right? Parents, girlfriend.
Points coming in.
Yeah. And then Patagonia and Super and those guys that are helping me out to spread the word, and like the way I'd like to spread it, then it's nice that they're helping out. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Last words of wisdom.
Same ones as always. Treat others the way you'd like to be treated.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks so much.
No worries.
Yeah.
Thank
pleasure.
you.